Hiya folks, Bullet Time. It's the defining feature of an iconic gaming franchise. A franchise led by everyone's favorite dead wife-having man. No! A lot of games, you're limited by reality. In Max Payne, you can do this. That's Bullet Time. And I do mean you, because I can't do this. I play like this. But Bullet Time isn't exclusive to Max Payne. Maxie might have introduced the mechanic to the gaming industry, but that only means there'd be a lot of games taking note and following in Mr. Payne's slow-mo footsteps. With recent word of the Max Payne remakes in development, what better time is there to look back at the legacy of Bullet Time in gaming, and most importantly, the game that started it all. But first we're gonna talk about other stuff. Its influence felt wide in the third-person shooter genre. My first time with Bullet Time in a game was in Black Ops 1.
Ready?
Which isn't a third-person shooter.
Ready when you are.
Sprinkled throughout the campaign are really cool, stylish, cinematic sequences where time slows to the crawl, and you can catch a whole group of people from a foreign culture off guard. The fact I think that's cool says absolutely nothing about me. Your movement is limited here, and these sequences are scripted, not something you have control over. You want a bit more control over your bullet time? Go to Red Dead Redemption.
I love my Hoshi and my Hoshi love me.
The Dead Eye ability lets you pick your targets off, then the game shoots for you. It's a bit of a simplified version of the mechanic. With those and GTA 5, the characters aren't aware of their time-slowing abilities. It's really just for the player, not the character. In other games, bullet time is tied into the story like in Time Shift. Yeah, same for Quantum Break and Dishonored. In all three, it's a core ability of the characters to manipulate time to their will. It's a core ability because you're a magical funkin' being, intentionally breaking the bounds of reality, using traditional weapons alongside voodoo's science fiction genre. It's so cool. Though a distinction needs to be made that the stopping of time could be considered different from bullet time, which relies on slowing time. Max Payne is just really good at pointing his gun. Main character Dishonored dude is a fucking wizard that freezes people in place, points their weapon in the right area, and Quantum Break gets a pass though, cause it has 50 million different kinds of bullet time in it, stunning enemies in a bubble and lining up bullets around them, slowing time for everyone, slowing time for just yourself. That's more like traditional bullet time. Call that time bullet. Bullet time, Buglet Tim. That could be shortened to BT, like BT 7274 from Titanfall 2. Unfortunately, Titanfall 2 has no Buglet Tims in it, so this will be the only time I ever talk about Titanfall. It is so sad. I'm gonna cry.
Super hot. Super hot.
Super Thought. Terrible title. Now that's more like it. Stand still, the world is still too. That's the gimmick in Superhot. Time is controlled directly by your movement, linked. You stop moving, no one else moves. You start moving, bullets fly into your face. It's a cross-section between traditional bullet time, the kind where time slows and lets you be precise, and the BT in Quantum Break, where time stops completely. Take your time for a second while bullets are coming at you. Move a little bit so that they go over you, shoot back. Super Hot is about precise strategy, working out your encounters to progress to the next area. 4 reasons for BT are special to me. Skyrim's about screaming angrily at people and it's got a shout which slows time. The VAT system from Fallout and your Pip-Boy, which is basically a big fat Apple Watch, is BT adjacent, but I want to zone in on how it's used in Breath of the Tears Kingdom and in Trepang 2. 2 games so far apart from each other in tone, style, story, gameplay, everything, that the only connection to be made is bullet time. Trepang 2 is inspired by FEAR. What a shit title, that sounds like Fear, but not. But I know nothing about FEAR. I watched a kid play it 10 years ago, and that's the only reason I know that game exists.
Oh no, little girl. Killer. How you doing? Apparently not that good since you're dead.
Trepang and Zelda both hold that their main characters are super focused, which is how they're able to use bullet time. Which is funny, knowing how fast they can move. Subject 106 is a super soldier designed to kill anything that passes his line of sight, himself sliding at lightning fast speed, blindsiding enemies in a flurry of bullets, ripping their own weapons out their hands as he moves past them. While intensely focused, the slowed screams of people turn red mush ring through your ears as you continue firing ever more. In Legend of Zelda, you're just a brave little guy. who's capable of destroying their enemies brutally because you're just a silly guy, here to kill. Saving Hyrule peacefully was never an option. In Tears of the Kingdom's legend, Link has over 2 different abilities in this game, ranging from a million abilities, but specifically the ability to dodge. Plus, Bubber Time is here too. You even have my beloved Bullet Time infused dodging. Dodging and Bullet Time are separate, but you can extend your dodge by flurry rushing and comboing attacks to decimate this one dude you met while walking in a grassy field alone. You don't get to see your family again, dude. Agility through dodging and midair time stopping is an integral part of Bullet Time mechanics in, well, almost anything that has it. I can't name a good slow-mo bulleting escapade without some movement in those elongated seconds which they portray. In many titles, Bullet Time will be the only thing that saves you at points. However, it's rarely a crutch, as the player is often limited in how long the ability lasts, and through using it learns how to make the ability more useful than it already is. Moving quickly, strategizing your shot placement, going for highly precise shots, knowing the right weapons and knowing what other mechanics of the game you're playing can make Bullet Time even more devastating in combination. And just really, really cool. These concepts all began from somewhere, and this origin point used these abilities to an extent that might have already been perfect from the start. With, that one guy. Oh right, Max Payne! Max's story is one of revenge, his wife and infant daughter senselessly taken away from him by people under the violent influence of the drug Valkyr. He sets out on a vigilante journey of his own to avenge his family once and for all. The slowing of video game bullets didn't work until Maxi Waxy did it first in 2001, but I didn't play this game until 2024. Old school shooters tend to show age, and honestly, Max painfully does too. The game is so outdated it's unlaunchable on Steam, not built for computers made after the year 14 BC, forcing me to download a fan-made mod pack to even run it at all. And by the way, my computer thought this mod pack was a virus.
You get a notice here that you're leaving Steam. This is totally safe. It's too large to scan for viruses, so it can't verify the file, but trust me, it is totally safe. We're gonna download it anyway.
Despite the age, the game came to kick ass and chew bubblegum. No, wait, that's the other guy.
If you don't play Duke Nukem 3D, you like man.
Max is here to kick ass and down painkillers with booze, and he's got a lot of painkillers. Bullet Time does heavy lifting in making the game special, alongside a gripping narrative when games were still struggling to have good stories. Without Bullet Time, you can have a fun time in this game, but the ability has so many obvious uses and improves the formula of run and gunning hang on. Instead of running and gunning to every encounter, planning out your attack makes the slowing down of time an exhilarating battle to make your shots in the right order before the timer runs out. Power trip fantasy fuels adrenaline that pumps through your veins, like Valkyr without the nightmares, an intense urge to kill Max Payne's wife and child. It's actually a surprisingly common side effect of many drugs. The shoot dodge is one of my favorite movement mechanics ever. It works in tandem with Bullet Time perfectly. Max is agile, diving to evade while counter-firing, flipping and rolling around to evade bullet swarms and bullet times. I dived everywhere, all the time. I've probably taken more dives than steps in Max's shoes. Oh. An enemy sees me, they will be dead on the ground before they can even ask how Max is gonna deal with all this shoulder pain as he jumps on the funkin' concrete repeatedly for 8 hours straight. The game's main influences come from Hong Kong action films from director John Woo and the noir genre, blending dark, detective elements of noir with the extremely high-octane, fast-paced style of the former. Slow-mo was often used to show big moments in these movies. John Woo's basically the inventor of bullet time in film, and Max Payne does that on repeat in a way which never gets old. While Max purposefully does not collect evidence because he's a sucky detective, I mean because he's got nothing to lose as a vigilante cop. You're always piecing together mini cases going on in your head, the story, and the gunfights. How can I most effectively take out everyone in this room without dying for the 5 millionth time? The answer is quick thinking, slow motion, memorizing enemy placement, and knowing what weapons in your massive holy shit bitch arsenal are best to take out some sons of bitches. Yeah! Connect your shots to everyone's head and you'll find the answer to your case. It's like I'm playing a puzzle game, but the answer to that puzzle puzzle is shooting someone in the head 15 times. Keep shit diving around and around like you're in the Matrix. How does this guy not have internal organ damage by the end of the game? Until you wind up landing deep in the story. A simple story of revenge unravels into warring mafia families, designer drugs, government conspiracies, demonic cults, a secret society holding it all together, an evil corporation. Everything told through comic panels. An intentional choice by Remedy, aware the material was too heavy to rely on Y2K era graphics to be taken seriously, preventing the story from aging too terribly. The comic panels are great. They have style. And still show so much age. It's so amateur. Obviously, real-life photos are overlaid by a fuck-ass ton of filters. The main character is played by the creator not because of ego, but because that's the best they could do with their budget. It turns out to be charming and adorable. Aw, they tried so hard. And doesn't diminish the story's qualities, because the story itself is great. Somehow, the charm was nice to have for the most part in this grim, murder-fueled tale where Max kills over 600 people in cold blood. Sam Lake is such a hack in his writing in the best way possible. I adore how committed he is to taking things seriously in all his work, only cracking jokes over his own absurdity when it fits best.
You're in a computer game, Max.
The truth was a burning green crack through my brain, weapon statistics hanging in the air, glimpsed out of the corner of my eye, endless repetition of the act of shooting, time slowing down to show off my moves, the paranoid feel of someone controlling my every step. I was in a computer game. Funny as hell, it was the most horrible thing I could think of.
Max's narration of his descent into a dark New York, his iconic, gravelly voice is unmistakable.
We come to you now live from the crime scene.
Who is this?
Right back at you.
You are to cease your criminal activities and surrender immediately.
Sure thing, Jim. Me and the boys have been talking and everyone's real sorry. They'll never do it again.
A usual action plot that evolves into so much more, unafraid in showing their strong, powerful action hero in a vulnerable and emotional state, exploring his deeply tormented psyche and the nightmares he faces every night. And a big part of that is definitely thanks to James McCaffrey's wonderful performance as Max. Yeah, Sam's the face, not the voice.
Hi, I'm Sam Lake from Remedy.
James McCaffrey delivers a genuinely amazing performance as Max Payne. However, it is very clear he was not directed perfectly all the time.
No!
But in French, he says... But in German, he says... But in Portuguese, he says... And then you have Russian.
Niet.
What the fuck? It's okay, though. The Polish version is very emotional and dramatic. It's... Seeing what Remedy did here, then seeing what they did with the more professional Max Payne 2 just a few years later is such bonkers improvement, and then seeing what they continue to do with every new game is like, fuck off! 20 years ago, they did this. Now, they did this. Through Minimum Pain, Remedy made bullet time in games a reality, and influenced many games to come after. The real reason it works here is because they prioritized making a lived-in world to work alongside gameplay. Everything in the environment is interactable in some way.
Thank you. The whole building was rigged with explosives. The whole building was rigged with explosives.
It makes the world feel real. You see an object with a button, it'll do what you think it should do. Why does Max need to flush every toilet he sees? Don't question it. It's something I'm really hoping returns in the remake. I guess if it has to be sacrificed due to any sort of budget constraint or just wanting to make sure the remake is as good as it can be, then we'll have to sacrifice some goats. But I know Remedy understands the importance of the atmosphere and feel of Max's world.
Suddenly, for the first time in I don't know how long, I realized I didn't wish to be dead.
I haven't beaten Maxi Payne 2 or 3 yet, but I'm really excited to move through them as soon as I can. Bullet time's even more insane in the second, becoming increasingly overpowered as the more kills you get, the more time slows down. And I've heard that Payne 3 is Max at his peak, gameplay-wise at least, definitely not emotionally. I know all the spoilers for both. I've heard nothing but amazing things, and I'm in love with this series and all its bittersweet beauty, but I can't wait to finish it all and give Max some closure.
I had a dream of my wife. She was dead. But it was all right.
Game's good. Seeing Max Payne incorporate bullet time into a game first and do it right on the first try, then going on to influence tons of games afterwards on how this mechanic should be used is amazing. Superhot to me feels like the highest evolution we've gotten of bullet time from Max Payne's concepts, but there is so much that has been done and can still be done with this mechanic specifically. Meat Peep for the Game Boy did bullet time so well. Why shouldn't it be in other things? Like famous game Choo Choo Rocket or an Alan Wake 1. I've got a great idea actually. You do that, but you give the main character a mullet and you call it mullet time, and then you market the game around mullet time. Ah, dang it, okay. I just learned my idea is ruined because a Microsoft executive already pitched that exact same idea to Remedy, and Remedy had to fight not to have mullet time in marketing slogans for Alan Wake 1. Dag nabbit. Choo Choo Rocket team, please hit me up though, I got ideas.